Would you look at the time? It's time for another practical IT stream. Let's get at it.
Hey, everybody. This is going to be kind of exciting. So, it's not every day that you wake up to news that Proxmox has released a brand new product. Well, it's in alpha, but it's kind of exciting. So, the product that they released the first alpha for is called Proxmox Datacenter Manager. And I guess you could think of it similar to vCenter in the VMware space, right? So with this product, you will be able to manage multiple clusters of Proxmox machines or multiple single Proxmox machines that are not in a cluster, which is the situation I've got here at home. The cool thing is, with this product, you will be able to migrate VMs to and from standalone Proxmox nodes, right? So this is pretty cool. Found out about it first thing this morning, installed it before I went to work, didn't have a lot of time to play with it. I only added one node to the data center manager. So we are going to look at the interface. We're going to add my other two Proxmox nodes, and then we might take a look at the roadmap for their future plans, which it looks interesting, although there's, I think, a lot of items on there that I may never use as someone in a home lab. But if, this were in a bigger business, I can see where those would be useful. So before we go any further, Terrell was first. So Michigan, we're representing tonight. We have Jacob Johnson with us. And we have Sam. Welcome. Wherein does a switch come into play or function as a role? Give me some more information, Sam. What context are you talking? A switch in Proxmox? Are you talking a switch in networking? Give me some more context, please. TVJ, welcome in. So, all right, let me share my screen and we will take a look. Let me buzz over here. And entire screen. Let's do that. And I'll put myself up in the corner. I think that'll work. Okay, so the first thing that I noticed when I saw this product is that compared to other Proxmox existing released products, this seems to be a much cleaner, more streamlined, more flat interface, and I kind of dig it. It's a little more Proxmox backup server and a little less Proxmox virtual environment, right? So just as a reference, so this is Proxmox backup server. You don't have quite as much stuff over on the side panel compared to the virtualization product, but it's really further streamlined. I feel like in this product, and hopefully it's a foreshadowing of what's to come in, well, let's see, we're at Proxmox 8.3 now, so 8.4 will be the spring release, right? And so watching Proxmox over the years, and I've been using Proxmox for 6-7 years now. Watching Proxmox over that time, they usually go up to 0.4, and then they bump to the next major release. So if we get 8.4 in the spring, we should get 9.0 in the fall of 2025. So I'm looking forward to that. Okay, so before the stream, I purposely took a look at updates that were available. So I installed this morning and it was at 0.1.7, and I did purposely wait. I knew there were going to be updates to do during the stream. So let's go ahead and get that kicked off. And so they just released the initial release happened yesterday, and so yeah, not even 48 hours after the initial release, they've already got updates. And hey, it's good here. Disconnecting, detecting migration. That's an interesting message. All right, we will give that a minute. Let's see. I think all but here and ready to enjoy a lecture. Right on. Marcio and Tunes, forgive me, I probably butchered your surname. Upgrade for 0.1.8. So actually, I'm showing 0.1.9 for the Data Manager UI, 0.1.8 for the Manager client, and 0.1.8 for the Manager itself. So I'm going to close this and let's refresh. So there's that. So that should be good. Great. So I wonder now, let's take a look. See what they might have for notes on the doesn't appear that they've updated their release notes potentially. Interesting. All right, so let's jump back over here, take a look at this. So one thing I noticed, of course, the more refined, flatter interface, but they also did something different with having just PDM as the favicon up here in the corner of the tab, which sort of breaks with their tradition of having their main logo in that spot. Okay, so I have currently my Node 3 PVE03 added in here, and that's all in good. But let's go ahead and add PVE01, And so we need to grab, the fingerprint using the command PVE node cert info. And the one we want is right below the SSL file name. So we want this one right here. Okay. Leave page. So this is 227. And so we are going to go to administration. Yep. We're going to go to remotes. We're going to go to add Proxmox VE. And this is 172.16.74.227. And paste in the fingerprint and say connect. And next. And this is PVE01. And Pam. And we'll say scan. That's okay. Next. And so we've got our host name and our fingerprint. And everything looks good there. We can go to next. And finish. So now we've got our PVE01 node added. It shows up under remotes. And if we come over to dashboard, we now have 2 nodes online. One running VM, 13 stopped. 4 running containers, 1 stopped. Guest with highest CPU usage. So yeah. Oh, that's for, I'm assuming that's oath. Let's see. So here's 01. So it gives you storage, it gives you CPU usage and all this good stuff. Completely overkill server for a home lab. 56 CPUs per node. And this super micro server has 2 nodes. So yeah. But yeah, this is pretty slick. So there's PVE01 and PVE03. And if we wanted to add PVE02, it's the same process. Jump into the shell, PVE node cert info. And right below the SSL file name, we grab the fingerprint. And we can repeat the process. And let's see, this is PVE02. So my understanding is, and I don't think it, at least this morning when I tested it, did not work. But you will be able to add your Proxmox backup server into this as well, eventually. Next, finish. Should pop in here just about any time. There's 1, there's 2, and 3. Now, if we come up to the dashboard, we got 3 virtual machines running, 41 stopped. I've really got to prune some of those virtual machines. 7 containers running, 5 stopped over 3 nodes. So, pretty cool stuff. I'm really looking forward to doing a deeper dive this weekend. And who knows, maybe between now and Monday they'll have another update or so. Yeah, I agree, Jay. It definitely looks more polished. It feels more modern looking to me. So I'm pretty impressed with it, and I hope this is the direction that they will be moving for the rest of their products. That would make me very happy. So currently, the Data Center Manager is running as a virtual machine on node 2, and it's using a little bit of nothing for resources, and I gave it way too many resources, which I'll prune that down later. But I was short on time this morning before going to work, especially since there was a bunch of snow that I had to clean off my car. So I didn't really spend the time to read through directions about system requirements for this. This will run on a little bit of nothing. And it would probably tick along real nice on like an Intel N100 mini PC or something along that lines. I mean, given what resources this is actually using, if they actually compiled a version for ARM, a Raspberry Pi would be a great use for this would make a great use for a Raspberry Pi, right? So I'm tickled. I'm very impressed with it. And yeah, I mean, this is I'm just curious now, since they did have an update. This is the oops. Let's try that again. This is the Proxmox backup server. So this did not work when I tried it this morning. And this is 210. So let's, just for grins, see if this works now. Okay, connection refused. That's fine. That's what I got this morning. I wonder if we put the 8007 in there. Oh, wow. That's we'll do that. Yeah, I don't know if that'll make a difference. Nope. Okay, well, we got a little further than I did this morning, but obviously that's not ready for prime time yet. Even in rot your retinas mode, it's not awful. Not to my standards, but it's not awful. Okay, so let's take a look at roadmap. And this says improve the overall health state of all nodes and resources, better organization of resources, including over multiple remotes, finding a specific set of virtual machines, nodes is key on large setups. So that's cool. Simplifying adding remotes by implementing a remote join information endpoint. Management of some core configurations, node backups, backup jobs, firewall. Very basic management of most important virtual guest resources and settings. Provides a link to target resource, allowing one to quickly open the fully featured interface for any complex configurations. So in excuse me, for me, that feature alone will be nice because currently I've got right now I've got 5 tabs open, my 3 Proxmox nodes, Proxmox backup server, and then Datacenter Manager. So getting that down to 1 and being able to open the rest from one place will be quite handy. Hold on just a moment. Sorry about that. Still getting over this winter head cold thing I've got going on. Feel a lot better today, but it's just kind of staying there like a fog, dense fog. Let's see. Offsite replication copies of guest for manual recovery. Integration of other projects like Proxmox Backup Server and Proxmox Mail Gateway. So, even though we tricked it and got through that first step in the little wizard, that is still on the future roadmap plan. So, but improvements on the UI side show more information and make things like RRD timeframes configurable. Allow more options for migrations. Console for remote resources. Handling MFA for initial probe remote connection. Evaluate a pool view where the hierarchical resource pools from all remotes are merged. Evaluate a way for limited views that certain users can be assigned to, for example, showing only details of the virtual guests but not their nodes. That's interesting. That's interesting. So hopefully they will fill in the changelog overview and show what changed between the 0.1.7 release and the 0.1.8 release. But I would expect by May-ish, this will be ready for a 1.0 release. Excuse me. And then it will probably, follow the spring fall release cadence that the other products follow, if I had to make an educated guess, right? All right. Yep, you're absolutely correct there. All right. So we got 10 people watching on a Friday night. Thank you all for being here. I just I thought about doing a full-length video on this and just releasing it tomorrow, but I thought, well, hey, it's Friday night. I don't have to work again until next week, Thursday on the 26th. Let's go live and have a little fun for an hour or so and play around a little bit, right? So let me jump back to Datacenter Manager. All right, so we have Okay, so we can play with these because I'm probably going to destroy these anyways. So this is Virtual Machine 105 on PVE02. This is a container. And I was working through a series of videos from another creator that was getting me back up to speed on Ansible. I made the mistake of trying to do it all in containers, and there were some things that were not working very well. So I'm intending on destroying these anyways. So it seems like they would be a good candidate for an attempted migration, right? All right. I just want to poke around this a little bit more. Web authentication, two-factor, nice. Access control. There's a 2FA, the certificates. So that we can close up. Administration, updates, repositories, syslog, tasks. I think we're all good there. And so, yeah. I wonder if they will add additional buttons for adding their other products, or if they will turn that into a drop down to allow for adding Proxmox VE or backup server. So I do those on number 1. We have, where did I put them? All right, so let's take Ansible node 1, and that jumps me back over to PVE02. I wonder if I have to. I swear this morning there was an option to do migration. Let's see, Linux containers. That's not clickable. No. Okay. So this is just going to open up status, Ansible's node 3. Okay, here we go. PVE02 and Ansible node 1. So here's Ansible node 3. I believe this is the migrate. Okay. Source remote, PVE02. Target remote, PVE03. All right. We're not going to delete source. We're going to wait on that. And target network is going to be VM bridge 0. And fingers crossed, migrate. since this is a Linux container, I know it will run fine on that other machine, which is it was set up as just a testing box initially. It's an old, what is that, a Dell Optiplex 7010. So it's one of those machines that has been running like a tank for a bunch of years, and is probably going to get retired in the spring. And in favor of potentially using like an Intel N100 box in its place, which would suck less power, and for testing a few things here and there, it would work just fine. So I suppose it would have been interesting to fire up Wireshark while this was running. Remind me later. We will handle that. Let's do this. So we've got things flying across the network. So we want 228. Do that. Which slows that down quite a bit. Looks like it's almost stopped. So I wonder if, okay, 119 megs in total, 114 copied. And that's doing its thing. Task okay. So node PVE, let's see, Ansible node 3 on PVE 02 is stopped. And on PVE 03, here is Ansible node 3. And that is running because the play button is grayed out. Looks like there was a jump in CPU usage. Still under 30%. Running on a vintage Intel Core i5 3475S. Yes, gents, that has some age to it. All right, so it's all good. It worked. Those are not in a cluster. We joined them to Datacenter Manager in a very alpha version. I experimented with Linux container that I knew was something I was likely going to destroy anyways, and it migrated successfully. In fact, if we come over here directly to this is PVE 03, and here is Ansible node 3, and it is running, ready to be logged into. So yeah, that's gets me to the point that I wanted to be tonight. I'm going to take just a moment as an intermission. I'm going to go grab my computer bag, and then we'll talk about a couple things that I've got in my computer bag. So I will be back in just a few minutes, maybe, well, less than a few, probably a minute and a half. And we will continue on this discussion and look at a few new, well, one new acquisition and something I've had for a while, but I don't think I've talked about too much. I'll be right back. All right. Just real short. Didn't have far to go. Okay, so I guess I need to give thanks where thanks are due. So thank you to David over at the PE for Doers channel. I'm not sure really how you pronounce this. Zhao Zet. The networking USB print server. If I can maybe get that to focus a little bit, sort of, maybe. So based on comments I left on your video, the company reached out to me to review the product, and I got this a few days ago. I've been working on a testing plan for it because I want to be rather methodical about it. So my intention with this product is to test it with Linux and Mac OS. There was one stipulation that they put on it that there's one tool specific to Mac OS that due to their agreement with the company that makes the software, I'm not allowed to show that, which is fine. But they didn't put any stipulations on the Linux side of things. So I will be testing with a couple of different Linux distributions, as well as testing on Mac OS. And I'll tell you what I told them, and that's my video. I expect to be out in early January. So the other toy that I had in my computer bag, and I think I've talked about this maybe once before, but nothing in very much detail. And I've got to get this updated before I go back to Illinois. I think I'm leaving a week from Sunday. But this is one of those GLINet travel routers. And when I've gone down to Illinois, I've taken this with me. I think when I was down there for 4th of July, I took this along. Woo! What happened? There. Nope. That's not what I wanted to have happen. So I took this down in July when I went down for 4th of July. And I did take a couple of my mini PCs with me. And so I was able to set this up in the bedroom I was using, and have my own network isolated from his main network, right? I could connect it as a Wi-Fi repeater. This device is nice because it's running OpenWRT, and it's slick. It's a nice little package, and the price is reasonable. So I have enjoyed working with that. I just need to set it up long enough to do updates on it before I go back down. It's already pre-programmed with his Wi-Fi password, and all I had to do is plug it in, and I'll have my own private network inside his network, and then I can access things here at home. So, are there questions or comments? Hey, David, thanks for being here. I've been wasting time with my 3D printer once again. Did everybody hit like? Yes, please do. Hey, my last name is Like. I'm going to use it. I don't know. I wonder if YouTube can penalize me for saying my own last name. But I try not to say it too often, but you know, it's all good. So the rest of this weekend, since I don't have to work until after the Christmas holiday, the rest of this weekend, I am going to be using, taking my chances. I am going to be using the Data Center Manager to migrate a few VMs around, because I've got some additional disks that I want to put into the main machines, and then I want to do a reinstall of Proxmox on those machines. So then I'll migrate stuff back. So the stuff I know will fit on node 3, I will migrate over there. The other virtual machines, I will use likely RescueZilla, stick them over on the Synology NAS as a temporary location, and then once I've done my upgrades and have additional disk space to play with, then I will bring them back over and all will be good. Okay, sorry about that. Yeah, so as you've noticed, I've got this little bit of a cold going on. Obviously, having to talk during this thing, I'm not sucking on the cough drops as much. So I'm going to limit this to an hour tonight. There's a very high likelihood that up through Christmas Eve, there will probably be a live stream a day. I am trying, and as of this afternoon, tell you here just a moment once this loads up. It was telling me that I'm 9 videos away from hitting 750 uploads, and I'm determined to be at video 750 by the end of 2024. So you may see me sneak out a short. I don't really like shorts. I've said that before many times, but hey, I'm going to get 9 videos out. Well, 8 after this one. I know I've got a midweek news coming up, actually would be due on Christmas Day. Whether that releases Christmas Day or the day after, I'm not entirely sure. It will come out. I've got a video on the Linux Mint 22.1 beta that I started on, as well as a video on Elementary OS 8. So I'm hoping that maybe a couple of those will trickle out before the end of the year as well. And I can hit that 750 video milestone by the end of 2024. It'll be a nice way to close out the year, and good place to round things out. So I'm off now till January 2nd. So I'm off until the through the 25th. So through Christmas, I work the 26th, 27th, and 28th. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And then the 29th, I take off for Illinois, and I'll be back on the 6th of January. And then I go back to work the following day. So this has become a tradition since I don't know. My mother passed 20 years ago. Christmas has not really been the same. My sister's family has always done other things and not really included me on New Year's. So I bugger on off to Illinois to hang with friends and do New Year's, and then stay through the first week of January through my birthday. And I've been told that on my birthday, we will be making a return trip to Galloping Ghost Arcade, which I know I've talked about before on the channel. But let's bring this up just for the sake of argument. So we'll be going on a Sunday. It doesn't seem like they've got any sort of discount for coming in on your birthday, but if you're curious of the games they've got, so I'll try to scroll through this rather slow and talk a little bit while I'm going through this. You can always go back on the replay and look at all these crazy games that they've got, and I'm not even through the A's yet. So there are so many games down there. Beavis and Butthead, hey. Yeah, I have not even come close to playing all of them, and I've been to this place probably 3 or 4 times already. Now, of course, these are classic games from the 80s and 90s, so not all of them are running every time I visit. So even if I could tolerate the noise of an arcade for more than 3 or 4 hours at a time, I would still not be able to play all these games, because here's we're over 200 games already, and I did spend a bunch of time playing Dig Dug, although I prefer Mr. Do myself, but you know, it's a thing, because I started with a ColecoVision and not an Atari, right? So back in the day, one of my best friends, his dad worked for Pepsi, Pepsi bottling company, or whatever it was, Pepsi bottling group. I don't know. Anyway, Pepsi had a, I don't know if they were doing cross promotion, or there was some agreement, some partnership or something at that point in time, and my friend's dad was able to get his hands on a ColecoVision before they were widely available, right? So he had a ColecoVision, I think the following year for Christmas, or maybe it was that same year, because he might have got his during the summer. My family ended up with a ColecoVision, and yeah, over the next couple of years, we ended up with the ColecoVision, the Atari 2600 adapter, the driving wheel for the turbo driving game. There's Mr. Do and Mr. Do's Castle. We ended up with a stack of games, and you know, it was a good time. My biggest complaint about that system is the controllers were temperamental, and that's being plenty kind. Pepper 2 is another one of my favorite games from that era, which is kind of like I don't know, it's similar to Pac-Man, but different enough, right? Instead of walking around inside the maze, you're doing like a zipper around different shapes. So there's Punch Out. There's a couple of different Qbert games. There's a different Raiden games. Several of those, I believe, were only available in Japan. But yeah, we're over 700 games. I think there's there's over 800 games. All those Street Fighters, Strikers, 1945, Super Burger Time, which was not impressive. Super Punch Out. We're almost to 900 games. So yeah, there's something for everybody. Tutankhamun. So yeah, Vampire Savior and Vampire Savior 2. Venture is another classic that was ported to the ColecoVision. So yeah, yeah, we're over 1,000 games, 1,014 to be exact. So yeah, I'm looking forward to going back. I'll probably spend a bunch of my time playing Mr. Do Arcade, which is what I did the last time. I sat at that the arcade machine long enough that I had the high score for I think it's first 10 spots that they list. Of course, when we went to lunch and then came back, somebody else had taken my scores, and beat my scores, I should say. But you know, it's a good time. It's a good time. So there's yeah. Check out our pictures on Facebook. No thanks. Memberships. Brookfield Police and Fire are free. Well, doggone it. Let's see. Other police, fire, and all military receive $10 off admission. Group rate starting at 30 people. Week membership is $65. Monthly membership $150 and yearly membership for $500, which comes with a custom membership pass. Good until the same date the following year. Lifetime membership $4,000. Well, that should buy them a game. Not that they've really got room for many more games. So yes, Brookfield, Illinois. So Sunday through Thursday, they're open 11 a.m. to 12 a.m. So 13 hours there. And then on Friday and Saturday, they're open 11 a.m. to 2 a.m. 365 days a year. So, great place. It does get a little on the loud side, I have to say, but hey, I guess I'm getting old, right? You know, it's let's see. Seems like they had the record of being the largest arcade in the US, but I could be wrong on that. I could be wrong on that. Anyways, fun times to be had. That's the way I'll spend a few hours on my birthday, and then hopefully end up at the brew pub for some birthday beer. All right. Well, I hate to do this to you people, but my voice is about shot for the day. I need a cough drop. I need to think about maybe going to bed early tonight. And hopefully I can make the best of my extended weekend and into the middle of next week, and have this thing kicked by the time I go into work on Thursday. So let's see. What do we have here? Why not in Windows? Yes, it is the most versatile, useful, and what the entire planet uses the most. Yeah, that's great. I've never been one to fall in line and do what everybody else does. So, and besides, David tested this box, which I'm assuming is what you were referring to. And I'd be happy to send you over to his channel to view his video, because I think he did a splendid job on reviewing it for Windows. I don't need to repeat what he did. So I'm assuming that's what you were referring to. So It's a strange reversal for me. Up until today, I've been focused on my granddaughter and my other side teaching gig. Very nice. So over the next 2 weeks, I am hopeful I can catch up on a couple of videos I need to complete. Cool. Had the Odyssey 2. I've never played any iteration of the Odyssey. Didn't that come out in wasn't that before the Atari 2600, or was that just like a year after? I've never played one myself. I spent way too much time playing the Atari 2600 Raiders of the Lost Ark. However, I finally won the game. Nice. Nice. Did you ever beat E.T. though? Nobody in my family did. That game was kind of a turd. Whiskey and honey. I do have whiskey. Maybe. I've got whiskey, and I do have honey. I'm not sure how pepper honey is going to mix with cherry whiskey, though. I might give it a try, or should I say a shot? See what I did there? My Gramps cough remedies. YouTube Music Portal, welcome. I know Christmas isn't the same for you as you mentioned, but have a Merry Christmas. Thank you. So yeah. So I mentioned my mother passed 20 years ago, but the other reason that Christmas has never been the same for me is that my ex-fiance walked out on me 4 days before Christmas. So I have since found it to be hard to be in the Christmas spirit too much. I try to fake it as much as I can when I'm at my day job. But if I'm not dealing with the public, I'm very much in the bah humbug camp. Like Pitfall, that was a good game. I like that one as well. All right, we successfully made it past the 1 hour mark, which was my goal for the night, and my voice more or less held out for that. I think I may very well go mix some whiskey and some honey and see if that takes some of this edge off. So I don't know how many more streams I'll be doing, but I'm guessing it's probably going to be one a day through Christmas Eve. And hopefully I will get to record a couple of long form videos as well that I can start staggering the release of a little bit. And yeah, you know, it's just one of those things. You know, I don't really get in the holiday spirit, but I try to make the best of the time, and you know, throwing myself into doing stuff for YouTube and recording some videos and testing some products will be just as much fun for me. So damn and ouch. Yeah. All right. We will see everyone in the next stream. Thank you all for being here. If you haven't done so already, please give the video a like. Hopefully this was a good way to pass an hour on a Friday night. I had fun. So I guess that's a good thing. And laughter is good for the soul, right? That's what I always hear, right? Jacob, were you here earlier? Or are you just coming in at the end? Thanks for being here, everybody. And there's likely going to be a stream tomorrow. See you soon.